Fun Day Monday. Fun Day Monday, right?
Fun Day Monday. It's the
Yeah.
best day of the week. Oh wait, that's supposed to be Friday, but it's
Yes.
Monday. So
Well,
we'll
any night you record, it's the best day of the week, right?
exactly any night we can record is the best day of the week. Exactly. I'm glad you caught that. Good afternoon. Good
Eh,
evening.
yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, it is. Well, no, it is evening for both of us, right?
It is evening for both of us. Correct. On
Yep,
Monday.
on a Monday. And
Yep.
here we are, getting a chance to record, getting a chance to do our. This is post Masters. We didn't really talk about doing anything for the Masters on this show. I kind of feel like it's Monday after the Masters is kind of like talking about football that happened on Saturday. You know?
Yeah, last year we were lucky enough to go there and we actually recorded
Yeah,
from Amen Corner, right?
yeah.
And so this year I was in lovely Fort Collins, Colorado with my daughter at a 2-day golf tournament. So um you'd be very proud of me, and this is not, well, I guess this is kind of part of my golf story, but so I'll save it. So we'll talk about
Okay,
that in a second.
okay,
But
okay.
so I was up at a golf tournament all weekend during the Masters, so we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. How was your
Okay.
weekend? What'd you do?
Kids stuff again, and now like I have this extra complication, which is this, puppy who is sleeping at my feet right now, who is turning out this guy is just my best friend ever. He's amazing. We actually went on this trip, so we had field hockey, we had track, dance competitions, stuff going on. Took him along as much as we possibly could, and he behaved so well. He's only 16 months,
That's
16 weeks,
good. That's
16
really
weeks
good.
old. We actually took him out to lunch one day at an outdoor place in a patio, and he sat and like underneath the table the whole time and just was great. So he's
That's
amazing, and
great.
it's good to have a buddy again.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're my buddy, so I'm glad we're here. We're back.
If I took you out for lunch, would you just sit underneath the table and behave the whole time as well?
No, of course not. The last thing I've done in my life is sit by a table and behave. That was not in my wheelhouse.
He actually behaves better than I do. So
In any part of my life, that was never part of my never part of my MO.
So, speaking of not behaving, let's talk about what we're drinking.
We
Okay.
are, yeah. So this is fun. We are drinking the same thing tonight, and we went to the store at the same time
Yep.
and got on the phone.
Albeit like
And
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, because
Now we're just getting
yes,
around to drinking
we're
it.
just getting around to opening these bottles, and it was fun. Actually, it's funny. One of these days, we're going to actually record ourselves doing this because it's actually quite fun. So you're in front of your bourbon selection. I'm in front of my bourbon selection. You throw three out that I don't have. I throw three out that you don't have, and it's us trying to this just chess match of figuring out, is there one bottle of bourbon that neither of us have had that
That,
both of us can
yeah,
buy that isn't super expensive
right.
but also isn't super cheap.
Yes. Something that tastes good but isn't going to break the bank, right?
So we did that 2 weeks ago, and I just cracked the seal on mine. You cracked yours a couple days ago,
Yeah.
and you wanna share with them what we're drinking tonight?
We are drinking Angel's Envy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which is I like the name of it. I mean, Angel's Envy, because envy, isn't that one of the seven sins?
it is one of the. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
So
Like sloth and envy and
yes, so envy is
lust
what.
after your
So,
neighbor's
so
wife or
it's just
something.
great. Angel's Envy, and they put it in it's like a sexy bottle too.
It is, and it's got wings on the back.
Yeah, it's got wings in the
Yeah,
back. Actually, there's no really description, but it's
it's out of Kentucky. It's a Kentucky small batch, if I
yes,
remember correctly.
yeah, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in port wine barrels. And I have to say, I think it's pretty good. I think it's like the Chuck Norris of the whiskey world. It's smooth, powerful, and leaves you wondering if you could roundhouse kick you into tomorrow. You know,
Help me understand the help me understand the Chuck Norris reference. You just completely threw me for a loop.
Well, I would say if happiness had a flavor, it would taste like Angel's Envy.
If
Maybe with a side of laughter and a sprinkle of Rusty Dave. You know. As a
I
matter of
don't.
fact, I'm pretty sure if you put this in your glass, even your pet goldfish would drink it.
I don't want to know what a sprinkle of Rusty Dave tastes like. I don't, sorry, Rusty Dave. I love
This
the man.
spirit will make you believe in miracles. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you haven't picked up on it yet, Mashie, those are all quotes that I got out of ChatGPT. That's my bourbon reviews from now on are going to come from ChatGPT.
I love that. We're gonna have to use ChatGPT for it. To get all those. I want to do that. I want to do that so badly.
So what do you think? I like it. I think it's good.
I like it. It's good. It's good going down. I do like the port barrels that it was aged in. I think that's great. I like there's a lot to. I will admit, I think the first could have been because I just popped open the bottle. First sip was a little chewy. I was like, this is going to be a rough one. But the longer it sat open and breathing a little bit, and then I put one piece of ice in it. I like a little bit of water in my bourbon.
Yeah.
And once I put that into it, then it seemed to have opened up very, very nicely, and I think it's great.
Cool. All right.
So good call. It's not overly expensive too. I think like you've got the bigger bottle. I think it was like $50.
Oh, I got the big bottle.
I got the little bottle. When I was checking out, she was like, I've got a little bottle. And I'm like, well, I don't want a little shot bottle. She's like, no. And so this is like a smaller version of the big bottle. So like this was like $30. So
okay. Yeah, well, mine will go quickly because when the guys come over here, they all raid my cabinet. And next thing
mine will go with my other 32 bottles of 1/4 drunk bourbon in my thing because I buy a new bottle each week for the show and I don't ever finish it. So
do you ever go in there? Like I happened to me a couple weeks ago. I said, guys, I got too many different bottles in here, and I have a bunch of them with like less than a quarter left. Like we're not leaving till we finish like at least 2 of these. You've done that? You gotta clean.
No. Although I will say, like when you and Bull Pride and CO Golf are up here for our golf thing, like I have a fridge in the garage with some beer. I'm not a huge beer drinker, so I'll need to know ahead of time what you guys want to have in there. Yeah. And then we've got a ton of bourbon. So
are they bourbon drinkers? Do you know?
Sorry, I think so. Yeah, I think so. So I need to assess that. And then like I have this vision of like after 2 rounds of golf, it's going to be in the evening where we sit out by the fire pit and just like drink bourbon and discuss our rounds.
One of the nights we're going to have to do the show too.
Like, oh, we should do a show with, yes, we should record a show.
We're going to have to Thursday through Sunday. That'll be,
we're going to have to record. So we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it here.
I'll have to bring some headphones with me and maybe we'll have them clued in. I just know how we'll get us all on. We'll have the video on we'll have to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to do all that. So
we'll bring really close in front of the laptop.
Well, we've got a lot of. Well, we can hook your laptop up to my. I've got multiple monitors, so we can hook your laptop up to multiple monitors and figure it out. So I'm sure we can. I'm sure the 2 tech guys here can figure something out.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Okay. And then I think we have a golf story next. Huh?
So little golf story I'm going to add, kind of in the theme of the Masters. I've got my theme up back there off the first tee. This was when I was at, actually, let me phrase this. I did not take this picture, but I was at this. This is from 2022. I was at the Masters. Tigers. This is Tiger teeing off on number 1. And the reason I just love this picture so much is you can't see because it's too small, but right about here, there's about a 16-year-old girl right there. That's my daughter. And so she's like 1 row off watching
you're
Tiger.
Talking about your background screen?
Yeah, the background screen. Yeah. So it's too small to see, but I can see it and I know where she is in it. But like when I think like Golf Digest took this picture of him teeing off of this particular year, and then she's in the audience, like 1 row back from the right, even with him, and you can see her face clear as day. And when he walked on the tee, she starts bawling and all kinds of stuff. So I always Masters weekend put this picture up for my background. But that is not how. So I celebrated the Masters in Fort Collins, Colorado, at this junior golf tournament. My daughter had a 2-day tournament. It was a qualifier for they qualify. They got to go through qualifier. They actually call it a Q school. They got to go through qualifiers depending upon where you rank, depends on where you get what tour you get into. So the highest level tour out here, they call it the Cup Series. And those are all 2-day tournaments. They start in April and they go all the way through October. And she qualified for that series, so she'll be all summer long playing in these multiple day 6,000. They're about 6,000 yard for the girls. For the boys, they're 7,000 yard
Wow.
tournaments. And so we were up there doing that. But what we did was, since we couldn't be at Augusta this year, and like I've only been there twice, so it's not like we go every year. Well,
Yeah.
since we couldn't go this year, didn't find a way to go, we took advantage of bringing Augusta to us. So if you click the page, one more, they are now selling all of the food from the Masters directly from the Masters website. Okay. And it's a package. You get all the egg salad, the pimento cheese, the barbecue. Move us to the left real quick. I'll show you one more screenshot. It's all the cookies, go forward, the chips, it's everything you can
Everything's
eat.
tagged like Masters branded stuff. This is
It's
like,
the exact stuff as if you were there buying it. Like,
so when you're there, like on site, like everything is branded like Masters,
yes,
like us.
everything is branded. I
Wow.
think I could be. I don't remember if like you walk out with like a Bud Light
Yeah.
or they pour it into a Master's cup and you just have it
Yeah.
in a cup. I don't
Yeah.
think you walk around with a can. I
How
think you
much
walk
does
around
a bag of Masters potato chips cost at the Masters?
75 cents if I remember correctly, maybe
Oh,
a
that's
dollar.
it?
No, yeah,
Okay.
the sandwiches are $1.50. You can get a pimento cheese or an egg salad or a barbecue for $1.50. You get a bag of chips for, like, there's a thing on Facebook. You can see it with this year's prices. They are cheap. It's the cheapest game in town for food.
Wow. So they're not trying to gouge you. That's
No,
surprising.
they do not gouge you whatsoever on anything. Now they're limited as far as like you can get an egg salad, a pimento cheese, or a barbecue sandwich. Those are the three
Right,
options
right.
you have.
Keep it simple.
But they're $1.50. So this is all the exact same food. They just package it up and ship it home. So we were driving home on Sunday after her round. We figured we'd get home with about 3 hours left of TV coverage. And my wife put the whole spread out, and she had white bread for the egg salad sandwiches. We had roll buns for the barbecue, and we sat there and ate like we were at the Masters and watched the final few hours of the final round.
Hmm. Hmm.
It was
Fun.
fun.
That's
It
fun.
was fun. Don't ask how much it cost. It was way too expensive. It was all
Yeah.
about the experience.
Yeah. All right. So now you have a little a segment up here, which
I
is
do.
golf
I do.
technology, and this is
I
something
do.
that you've got a lot of requests on. To I think we kind of touched on this stuff a little bit in the past,
I think so.
but you're gonna dig in
Well,
a little bit deeper here.
yeah, a little bit here and there. And so what I love golf technology. I always have, and I'm a sucker. One, I'm a sucker for a good training aid that never works. So I have a garage full of all kinds of golf training aid shit. I'm like, freaking Roy McAvoy with a thing hanging off the helmet. I don't use it all. I get it and I play with it and I throw it away. It doesn't work. I got wrist trainer. So I'm a sucker for a good golf tech, a good golf training, tool that
Yeah.
doesn't work. Um, and I'm a sucker for good golf tech. Combine those two, and I'm all in, man. Like I'm like a Facebook 3 a.m. Oh, I got to order that. I know it's coming somewhere, but I have no clue where they're making it or who I'm paying for it. But if it's a golf tech trainer, I'm all in. So this is though more about on course technology, not training. This is how you. So I started using Golf Shot on my phone, and this is how by the way, this is not a review of any of these products. This is more about my personal experience with them. Several people have reached out, so I know you've been playing around with this stuff. What do you think? So this is more of like based on how I play golf and how I use this tech, how it worked or didn't work for me. It may work, all of it works well, and it may work better for other people than it did for me. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me preface it saying it that way. So I started, and I have for years used Golf Shot on my phone, where you manually enter in your scores. And I'm a person that keeps my phone is in my left pocket. Matter of fact, if my phone is not in my left pocket, I can feel the weight difference of it not being there, and it screws me up. So my phone's in my left pocket, and my right pocket is like tees and ball markers and stuff like that. And so I
So
always
you're
have my
saying
phone.
you have to golf with your phone in your pocket?
I have to golf with my phone in
Wow,
my
I'm
left
the
pocket.
opposite. I can't golf with my phone in my
Mm,
pocket. It stays in the golf cart or my
if I feel my phone is not in my pocket, I can feel it's not there. Like I can feel it pre-shot routine and go, yep, my phone is not in my pocket. This is gonna suck, and it does. So keep that in mind. I use my phone throughout the round. Okay.
Yep.
So I started with so let's go to the next slide, and I'll show you the three that we're gonna talk about a little bit today. I started using Golf Shop, great app based only on iPhone and Android. And they have grown that that platform into much more than just an app. We'll talk about that in a second. I then shifted over at one point in time in my career, my life, over to the Arcos sensors, which I know you've used in the past, and
Yep.
you had some mixed results. You had some sense, you liked the data you got, but you had some sensor issues. I like the sensors, but I like the data the sensors gave, but I didn't like them hanging off the back of the club. I felt like that was I found myself fiddling and playing with them, give or take. And then I moved over to Garmin. I had an S62 watch for a while, then an S70 watch with the CT10 sensors on it. And so those are the three that I've used. So over the last year, I've been playing with all three of these. And I'll go out and I'll set up my golf shot and I'll go play a couple of rounds. Then I'll set up Arcos and I'll play a couple of rounds. I'll set up Garmin. I'll play a couple of rounds. And on one hand, it was kind of cool because I got to get deep on all these different technologies. On the other hand, it sucked because my rounds were spread out across all these different platforms. I couldn't keep heads or tails on any one. And so I decided coming out of this winter, I needed to land on one platform to use. And so we'll talk about that one at the end of the segment. So
Okay.
let's dive in quickly on the Golf Shot.
All right. So you're
Is
gonna
the
go into
first one
golf
that I
shot here.
started with. So, and I've got a couple of screenshots. I'm not going to go super deep, but Golf Shot, essentially, if you just advance and we can bring up the first part of the slide, Golf Shot is the app is fantastic. The app itself is very, very good. It's very robust. It's got a ton of features. It does have support for Apple and Android watches. So you can get on your watch, you can get distance to the pin, you can get all kinds of caddy information, you can get wind information, you can get distant club select, recommended club distance. The more you play on Golf Shot, the more it remembers or tracks your yardages, so that it starts recommending clubs based on your yardages. So that all that stuff is really well done. They added recently auto shot tracking, which is really cool. And then they have the swing ID shows like personal stats, like based on the wind and based on how well you're doing this. So the more you use it, the more data it collects on you, and the better the data it gives you on your shots. And then I really actually like the shots gained. I'm a big fan of looking across your game and looking at where are you gaining or losing shots to help hone in where you need to work on your game. The Golf AR is really kind of cool for course of support. You can actually hold the camera up and it shows you over the course the yardages to cover the bunker here and this. So there's some really cool stuff about it. There's a free version with a limited set. There's a $69 version that I was using Pro, and then there's an $89 a year golf plan. So it's for me, the Pro, the $69.99 a year was what I've been using. Okay.
Right.
So let's go one more advance. Overall, really positive experience. I will tell you, I found the shot tracking really hit or miss because there's no sensor. It's using your GPS location and it's using the sensor on the Apple Watch to track the hit. That I found, like, at the end of the round, I'd go back and want to look at my shots and it missed half of them sometimes. Sometimes it got them 80%, sometimes it got them 50%. It was really hit or miss on how well the actual shot tracking was.
And that's really ultimately that's because it doesn't have anything on your club to know when you're hitting and what club, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It doesn't know, like the Garmin, because the way they're paired up, and the Arcos, the way they're paired up, as soon as you pull out that club, it knows I have a 7-iron.
Yep.
And then because those have sensors designed to track the hit and to detect the hit, it knows where you hit and stuff. So you get much, much better shot tracking on the other two. You get so this was pretty good on the shot tracking, very good on the other stuff, but I wanted the shot tracking. The shot tracking was something I like to go back and look at where my rounds go. The other thing too is this has very good satellite imagery for the holes. I got some pictures of this. So So generally, overall, a great app, a good app, a pretty low cost version of doing it. But if you're into shot tracking like I was, it didn't do the best on that. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And then if you move us to the right, I got a couple of screenshots. So strokes gained, if you guys have never used strokes gained, I highly recommend it. The more rounds you play, the more it tracks it, and it shows you can do it against your a person of the same handicap as you, or you can do it against like a scratch handicap. So this is against a scratch. And so this is saying that basically I'm losing 6.7 when I for the screenshot, I'm losing 6.7 strokes against a scratch handicapper. And you can see where I'm losing them. I'm losing most of them on my putting. I'm losing 2 strokes against the scratch handicapper. They're
Yeah.
better putter by 2 strokes than I am. I lose them on my approach shots because I don't hit as many greens as I should. So it really gives you the ability, shots tracked, and it's not just a golf shot thing, but shots tracked is a strokes gained is a really, really good thing to look and dive into where you need to improve in your game. And then one more screenshot shows you how they're using satellite. It's not a full blown satellite image. It's a satellite image of just the hole. And then the shot tracking would overlay on here when it worked. But you can, on the app, you can zoom in and you could put that little round circle at 332, like a rangefinder. You can put it anywhere on the hole, and you can get your yardage from where you're at using GPS and kind of use it as a rangefinder to what's my carry across the bunker, that kind of stuff. So really, really good. The app is very, very robust. The shot tracking I had mixed results with. So that sent me on a different direction, which is what's going to work with shot tracking. So that
Arcos.
sent me over to
Arcos.
Arcos.
Yeah.
So Arcos was another really good solution. You can just bring up the first box. It'd be great. Most people know what these are. Sensors, you can get these sensors. Are not overly expensive. I think you can get a set of sensors for like
I
what, $69 or $59 or something
I
like
was trying
that.
to remember, like, 'cause I know they were offering something like if you paid the subscription now, I think you got either sensors for
Or the
free.
sensor's free for the subscription,
Yeah.
or I know like Cobra, if you buy some clubs from Cobra,
Yeah.
they'll include them. And like if you they got deals now with many different club manufacturers. If you buy
And
TaylorMade or Ping, you get sensors for free.
here's here's what I did. And well, go ahead. And when you get to the end of Arcos, let me tell you my big hang up
Yeah,
with them.
yeah. Because it may be the same issue I had as well.
Yeah.
They have their app is extremely robust. It's the most robust of all three apps.
I would agree. Well, I never did the first one you did golf shot. I never played with that one, but
But
Arcos,
over the Garmin app, it's way, way, way
yes,
more superior than the Garmin app.
yes, I would definitely agree with that. Yep,
Yep, they do support Apple and Android. I think their watch support is better on Apple than Android, but the Android
100%.
is
Yes,
catching up slowly. But they are all in on Apple right now on their watch support, auto shot tracking, smart club distances, like a lot of these apps do. Strokes gained, again, another bit. We just talked about it. It's a really good thing to have. The app rangefinder, like you talked about, golf, very similar to Golf Shot. The caddy advice, finding the caddy advice, the more I've used this, the better that's gotten. Which is, hey, I've noticed the caddy advice is really, really good at taking into effect the wind, the direction of the wind, the temperature, and
yep,
then so it's giving me a good recommendation of, hey, you, based on our data of how you've hit this club, you should hit this shot as a 7 iron,
yes,
as opposed to me thinking I just muscle an 8 iron. And then part of me is the ability of, do I believe it or not? And most time I say I'm not going to believe it, and most time it was right. Um, it does, and I should have put a little star next to this, so, and I'll get to this at a little bit in a second. It does require I should say, a sensor. It does have a sensor that goes on the club, whether it screws in or there's grips you can get with it. They also have this thing I'm not overly familiar with. I don't use it. They've got a link that if you don't want to carry your phone, the sensor's paired to the
yep.
link
And
with
I
the
had that.
phone.
Yeah, I had that.
Okay, so you've got some experience with the link.
Yeah, and
I don't use
the
that.
reason for that is because the Android support was somewhat weak with the watch. And I think the Apple Watch can actually somewhat take the place of the link. What the link does is it listens for your club swing, and it also connects to that sensor so that it tells,
Mhm.
what club you're hitting, and then it transfers that back to your phone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
And so I don't use the link because I have the phone in my pocket the whole time,
yeah, and I
and
didn't
I
want to
have
do
my
that.
Apple, and
Yeah,
I had the
yep,
Apple Watch on. So those two together, I didn't need to go get the link. It's not the cheapest of solutions because again, like if you can get sensors free or cheap, or you can buy like the smart grips that come with sensors.
Yeah.
All the Gen 3 sensors, which are the newest sensors, you get a year free, and then it's $12.99 a month. So it's like $150 a year subscription to use it after. That kind of sucks, to be honest with you. I'm not a big subscription guy. So it was okay, but I'll explain that in a second. So, next box, real quick, if you would. So I will tell you overall, again, because the physical sensor on the club, the shot tracking is spot on. Adding shots is spot on. Like if you need to add a shot, where it doesn't do well is you hit a ball in the water, and then and I haven't figured this out. You hit a ball in the water, but the drop zone's over here. So you walk over here and hit another shot to the drop zone, adding that penalty stroke, and I haven't quite figured that one out yet. But when I clicked on add a shot, it knew I hit a shot from here. I just had to tap because the GPS knew where I was. So I just tapped that and it automatically added the shot. So the shot tracking was fantastic. The strokes gained is very, very robust. The data, it's the most robust data of all of the platforms that I could find, which was really, really, really good. It's not the cheapest solution out there. And for most, I'm not a huge fan of the screw-in bump on the back of the club.
That didn't bother me. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, I got so used to it when I took those off, I felt weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I
Now,
took them. Yeah.
what I really found pleasantly surprising about this was it has seamless integration between the watch and the app. So I can start the app, I can start the
Yeah.
round on my watch, and I can pull out my phone on the middle of the fairway, and it's synced up automatically, and I can do all the range finding like I could in the Golf Shot app, or I can look at the back of the pin from my watch, and it's all synced up real time between the phone and the watch, which I found really, really nice because I can get quick data here. I can walk up to, and this is one of my favorite things, and this is a carryover for me for sim golf. I putt a lot in sim, right? And so I got to figure out it's a 10-foot putt, it's 10 foot to my screen. And so I like to know the distance of my putt. And so in the past, I've been pacing off putts. Now I go up and I tap set pin on my watch. And when I look at my phone on the lock screen, it's not even on the app, on the lock screen of my phone, it shows me I'm 32 feet from the pin.
Yeah.
So that gives me a distance in my mind to go, okay, it was a 32-foot putt. So I know roughly how hard to hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
So I
was
like
not
that.
my biggest hang up with this was I got the sensors, and then less than a year later, all of a sudden one of the sensors isn't working.
Yeah.
It's dead.
Yeah.
And next thing in it, so I replace it.
Yep.
And you get a discount on the replacements. Then 2 weeks later, it's another sensor. So I'm out golfing and I get back and I realize, well, my 7-iron wasn't being tracked because the sensor's dead. So then I got into the point where I'm like, every time before I go out, I'm checking to make sure none of the batteries are dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I
Yep.
got in touch with them. They sent me a handful of new sensors for free. It was great. They said, here we go. These are supposed to last at least 2 years. We'll send you 7 more sensors. I replaced like a bunch of them. Next thing was 6 months later, they're going dead again. I'm like,
Yeah, and that's
I
I
was
haven't
just done. I
luckily I
was
haven't
done.
seen that. I do have some spare sensors here that I bought off their, just the discounted price of the website. So I have them and I've got them in my bag in case one. But I've heard of that, and you and I talked about that, and that sucks when they go bad because then you
Yeah.
don't. And I haven't personally run into that yet, so I'm cautiously optimistic.
Well, I
Um,
did game the system a little bit because I got tired of contacting them to get new sensors. So I have a vanity domain, rosslabs.com. It's my email address at Ross. So, but I can make any Ty at rosslabs.com, Ty Ross at rosslabs, blah
yep,
blah. So I would
yep.
just register again and get 12 new sensors.
See,
but I
that's nice.
but
That
I still got tired of the inconvenience and I finally gave up.
Yeah, and listen, tech is not supposed to get in the way. It's
Yes.
supposed to help your game and not get in the way of your game, which is going to go to where we go to in a second.
Hmm.
And so far, I haven't run into that, so it's been enhancing my game. But I can absolutely see. I mean, it is the fact that I actually have to have extra sensors in my bag in case one were to go bad.
Yes. Yeah.
That is annoying, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, and you don't know, and you don't want to check them before every round, and you're I check after. So my standard routine is at the end, as I'm walking from the green to the tee, I always pull out my phone to check that it got the right score. Most of the time it does. Occasionally it misses a putt. It doesn't know, and I just pick up the 1-inch putt where they're like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
good. Or my buddy tapped it back to me and said, you're good. And he tapped it back. So I have to go in and add a putt to it, right?
Yeah.
So I check my score, and then I'll look and see and be like, oh wow, it didn't. There must be a bad sensor because it didn't check the, you know. But I agree, it's not a perfect solution by any means, but the data, it's the most robust of all of the solutions from data. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then I got a screenshot. This is like, so their satellite imagery, I think, is the best of all the satellite
100%.
imagery. It's
It definitely is. Yeah.
very good. There's shot tracking. This was mine from last week. So April 4th, I took this. I went and played and used it as an example. And the shot tracking, I mean, I did nothing. I literally knew what club I picked up. The strokes gained are here. They give you insights on the strokes gained. So if you go to the next one, it shows you like, hey, you need to work on these 3 areas of your games where you're losing the most
I
strokes. And
did miss that as part of this
this
app.
is valuable. And I
This
love
is
this
really
kind of
good
info. I
stuff.
geek over this info all
Tons
the
of
time.
information here, which I
Yeah.
did miss. Yep.
Because like I always think, well, listen, I guess my driving must be the issue, and then I go look, and it's over the last 7 rounds. It's like actually your driving is improving. It's your putting that's sucking. Okay, and then the last one, I promise I'll wrap it up. We put all this up, is Garmin. Now, listen, I'm gonna be real careful. This is the most expensive of all the solutions because this is a watch. Okay, and I think Garmin's approach has been this is a watch solution first, and it will be an app solution later. Okay.
100%. Yep.
And it is the best smartwatch you can buy on the market, especially if you're using an Android device. I think it's a good smartwatch solution if you're using an Apple device, but Android does a lot more, opens it up a lot more for smartwatch functionality because that's Android is much friendlier for that.
Yeah.
Apple locks it down to their stuff a lot. Um, and so from a watch, you can't, it is the best watch out there, no question. I added the CT10 sensors in the back of each club. So like Arcos, I had a sensor screwed in. The shot tracking was just as good. The club detection was just as good. The play like features, the virtual caddy on the watch that told you everything. It was fantastic. It was very, very, very good. The data on it is very good. They have a subscription service now that you can subscribe to. I think it's like 10 or 15 bucks a month. If you do that, you then get green contour data on your watch where you can look and see
Yeah.
where the slope it's from a golf perspective, there's no better golf watch out there than the Garmin S70. I had both the 62 and the 70. There's no better watch out there than the 70 for a golf watch, okay? The Apple Watch, the Android watches are smart watches that are adding golf functionality too, and they lag behind all up. Okay. So let me just say that bar none. This is the best golf watch solution out there. Pair it with the CT10 sensors, it's a very robust solution. Where it falls short for me was 2 areas, and this is unique to me. One, everything is done on the watch. There is no synchronization from watch to app. So if you need to look at a bigger view of the hole or want to do range finding of, hey, what's my carry over this bunker that I can't see, so I can't shoot it with my thing, but I know it's there, you have to do it on the 2-inch screen. And I found trying to navigate the watch with my finger on a 2-inch screen in the sunlight when I'm sweaty in the middle of a round, I found it started becoming cumbersome. Okay. My own personal opinion. The data on the watch initially is great, like yardage to the back of the green, middle of the green, all that stuff that initially presents is great. As soon as I started having to use the watch and scroll around to get all the information I was looking to get before I hit my shot, then I started getting, I'd miss a scroll, or it wouldn't get me the right yardage, or grab the wrong bunker, and I started getting frustrated. And then I'm a little older, and I'll be honest with you, and I know there's a big numbers mode, but then you lose some of the satellite imagery or some of the imagery. I found some of the numbers hard to read. To be honest with you, I was kind of like, what yardage is that? And listen, you mix up an 8 and a 5 and it's 180, not 150. That's a couple clubs. It made a difference for me. So I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it until it made me not love it because I wanted to open up my phone and I wanted to look at some yardages on my phone and navigate around the hole I was at. And I couldn't do that. And then they used no satellite imagery, none on the watch or on the app. Now I'm okay with it not being on the watch, but on the app, it seems inexcusable that there's no satellite imagery in 2024. It looks like cartoon characters and on the watch, it's fine. You get by with it, no problem. But in the app afterwards, when I go look at your score and kind of revamp everything, I didn't like the way it looked. I got some screenshots of it. And then the data, there is some data, and I'll show you some screenshots, but there is no like golf shot and Arcos have around where you're leaving your strokes, get your strokes gained. There is no strokes gained on it. There is a comparison against other Garmin users, but that doesn't help me a whole lot personally. So on one hand, it's an absolutely fantastic solution and it works really well for the round you're in now. I didn't get the insights that I was looking for out of it for where to improve. And I found the functionality of it in the course for me a little bit cumbersome, not a ton, but a little bit. And so you show a couple screenshots. There's one more screenshot if you go forward if you can. So like this is from the app. This is a post round I played, and it doesn't even look. I mean, it's my course. That's the same hole. It doesn't even look like it.
Is
Just
it
looks.
I didn't. The course you played was it on an island?
It was. Yeah, it was. Apparently, Colorado is in the middle of an island.
Yeah, yeah. Now I ended up settling on the Garmin, but
Yeah.
I definitely use it differently than you do. Is first of all, I hate carrying my phone, right?
Yep. For
So when
sure.
I'm standing, walking in the middle of the fairway and I need yardage, yeah, I can get on the watch. I got really good at the interface, so I can get on there, find the yardage. My vision is good, but I tell you what, my vision is starting to go, and I can tell you right now, I'm gonna have a hard time seeing that watch eventually.
If I
Um,
have to pull readers out on the golf course and look at my watch
yes,
to get my yardage, I have a problem. And
yeah.
that's just me. I'm an older guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And the other thing, though, is when I do use my phone, the guys that I play with, we use an app called the Grint. I don't know if you ever heard of the
Yeah,
Grint.
Grant's a great app. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many good apps. That Grant is
Yeah.
out there.
The
There's a Green
reason I
Book
use
app
the
out.
grant, and we all use the grant, is because of the social aspect of it. Because you can,
Yep,
when you all play, you can all join a group, and then you can watch each other's scores, even though you're not playing together. And then, in addition to
yep,
that, if I'm at home and those guys are all out playing, it sends me alerts when someone three putts, does stupid
yep,
shit, and
yep,
you can see all their handicaps. It gives you a official handicap. So I use those two together. Watch when I'm out in the course, grint to keep my score.
yeah,
Perfect world for me would be if Garmin buys the Grint or Grint buys Garmin and then you integrate the two together. That would be the mecca because the Grint is really good at doing shots, strokes gained.
yep.
However, you have to manually enter all that
Enter
stuff
everything,
in.
and I don't want to manually enter it. I want it all to be entered.
I want the sensors as part of it.
I would think if Garmin had the Arcos or the Golf Shot app functionality,
Yeah.
it was seamless. Like you can go, you can use whichever you want whenever you want. That would probably be the best solution out there. Add in social media functionality like the Grant and stuff like that and shareable. That would be great. But like right now they don't, and so I think Garmin is hindered by its app. Like I said, it's the best thing,
Yeah.
the best golf watch out there, and the functionality on the
So
watch is
So
over
I
the
think at
top.
the
I
end of the
mean,
day, just like you said at the beginning, it depends how you like to play. If you want
it
everything on
depends
your
on how you like to
watch,
play.
yes, Garmin's
So
perfect. But if you have an Apple Watch, I think, and you like to use your phone, you like to keep in your pocket, I think the way you're going is probably the way to go for most people too.
yep. So like the where I landed. So a lot of people have asked, or a few people have asked where I've landed, and so what? Oh, sorry, this was their version of stats, not there's how
Yeah,
their version of some stats, and like it's just general stats. And
very,
there's one more
very,
screenshot
yeah,
of,
very general.
here's some recovery in your bunker. So it's very general knowledge on the information. But I wanted the watch is like the watch is sexy as hell, I gotta say.
Yeah,
So where did I land? One last slide, then we'll promise we'll go into courses. We've talked too much on this. I am now going forward and I added the smart grips. I got the Arcos smart. I'm going to be a little bit odd. And if you move us to the left, this is where I've landed for the season right now. I put smart. Arco Smart Grips on my clubs. So I now have so those have the sensors, but they're embedded in the butt of it. So I don't have the big thing hanging off the back. So I like that personally. And I already owned an Apple Watch 2, an Ultra 2. So I had an Ultra 2, I had a Garmin, I've got about 17 Android watches. I have all this tech crap here anyway. So I'm using the Ultra 2 with this, and I can get 2 rounds of golf on my Ultra 2 because it's not heavy watch intensive. And one side note, because I had an older set of Gen 2 sensors, I pulled them out of the casing and put them into the smart grips here. And then sensors you buy from their website are not Gen 3. They don't require subscription. So this is my solution, and I have no yearly subscription on it. I'm just using the sensors I had in the new grips. I pulled the Gen 3 sensors out and threw them away. And then I have my Apple Watch for it. So for me, it's kind of a best of both worlds.
Nice. All right.
All right. Sorry. That took longer than I thought it was going to take. Sorry. Hopefully anybody found it decent or reasonable.
There, right. So we
Courses.
go to new courses. So what was the official count? 14.
14. Oh, sorry, it's 14. I raised my hand to 5. 14.
So let's jump into it here. First 4. So we got Glen Hardy Country Club in Wayne, Pennsylvania by Bomber Golf Studios. Then let's move north to Rocky Crest Golf Club up there in McTier, Ontario, Canada.
McTier.
Then we got Bun in the Oven, Bun Golf Course, Springfield, Illinois by J. Jeexerod.
That's funny. I even associate Bun in the Oven. Look at you.
Yeah, that's all I see. Bun in the Oven.
Wow.
That damn Kentucky golf course by KSU Cat.
That damn Kentucky course.
The damn man went to the dam to get some damn water. But when we got to the dam man said he didn't have any damn water, right?
You just want to say damn as much as you can. Yes. And I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue with that. Damn it.
Damn. Let's go out there to Wales in the UK. Hardick, Royal St. David's by Pob 16.
Hey, at least there were no Swedish courses out this week, so we didn't completely butcher the names.
Right, you're right. There's for a change, no Swedish courses. The club at Spurwing out in Idaho by P. Toad. Victoria Golf Club by P. Wade in British Columbia. And of course, we got Putt Warehouse, the show we did earlier in the week with R. Dyer, had him on the show. And Saskatoon, right? Saskatoon.
You know what? I was really surprised that he put a location in there. I guess maybe that's the guy who suggested it's from there.
Yeah, I think that's the story. The guy who suggested it was from there or something.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of
because Putt Warehouse could be in any city. It's not right. If anything, it's franchises in every city. It
could be
not just any.
It could be on Mars, right?
It could be. It is on Mars. It's on Uranus.
Oh, here we go. And the Angel's Envy has settled into Mashie's brain. He's become a 5-year-old.
Speaking of, it's time to pour. Let me get a little piece of ice here. Look, I got ice. I got a little piece of ice. And I got a little bottle of Angel's Envy. I got a little cork that just came out. And I got a little glassy glass. Okay.
Richmond Country Club in Staten Island, New York.
You have to be a Richmond to play there.
You do. By Mr. Run Pud Run. And we got the club at Pradera in Parker, Colorado. Another one.
Get out of my backyard, Run Pud Run. You're not allowed to be in my backyard.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Parkour, the Parkour range. Parkaranga.
It's hard to climb this course. You got to jump all over the place to get to the holes.
Yes, we need some of the parkour sound effect from The Office. Parkour. Golflands, Auckland, New Zealand by Simply Me 80. Muncie Elks Golf Club by the Golf Boy out in where else but Muncie, Indiana. And last but not least, the final two, we've
So
got what?
wait, go back.
Go back. Okay.
God, I'm an idiot. I didn't even realize that was Muncie.
What's
Like,
so,
I don't know why
what's
I
so
looked at
special
that and I
about
was like,
Muncie?
I butchered it 7 ways from Sunday. I don't know what it was, but then you said Muncie, and I'm like, oh, it's Muncie. It makes perfect sense. Like, wasn't there a movie filmed in Muncie, or there a John Hughes movie that's got a, like
Who
Muncie
knows?
as the?
Muncie,
I don't know.
Muncie.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I digress. I stopped. Sorry. Keep going.
And we got Rainsville Golf and Country Club by the Golf Boy out in Rainsville, Alabama. And then we got another one by T Squared. So Hamilton Golf and Country Club East Course in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Again, by Mr. T Squared. So those are the new courses this week. So what does that mean? Well, that means the next ones we're going to be talking about are the M-Pals. So
boom, explosions.
Yes, explosions. Whee! Okay, so what do we got here? Let's jump in, and first one is P-Wade 3 Victoria Golf Club.
Can you move us to that side?
We want to go over here, right?
I do, yeah. Really, really nice course. Not hugely long, 6,400 yards from the backs, but a lot of fun to play. And P-Wade, I don't think this is his first MPOW.
No, he's been
but
around for quite a long time.
He has, but I don't think he's had one recently. So I don't have the list in front of me, but so congratulations, P-Wade. Great course, old course, fun course. Really like this one. There's a lot to like about this course. Let's just go into it and say. So first off, like, I've never seen a more plain Jane driving range ever.
This looks like the Christmas tree farm down the road from me.
It does. Matter of fact, in December there are none of these trees there.
Well, they're there, but you see people walking back and forth with saws and axes.
With saws on them, and they cut them all down in front of you. Exactly.
That would be great. In December, Pete Wade, what you have to do is I want you to update the course to have people dragging trees back and forth.
That would be so awesome. Like the dragging a tree, like dad dragging a tree, and you have a little kid yelling and screaming, "It's cold out here, Daddy! I want to go back to the car.
I want to go home."
Now, here's the only reason I captured the screenshot of the range is not because it's boring as shit. It's because
of the angry drunk guy,
because this dude is everywhere. Like, he is at every court. I love this guy. I don't even know who made him. I think Run made him or not, but like, I love this guy. He is everywhere.
Well, someone should get over there and help the guy out because he obviously broke his wrist.
He does look like he really needs a little help, and maybe some shoes too. But
you see out there, he's got the sandal golf shoes going on.
And I really do appreciate his ability to levitate the golf balls in the bag off the ground there. I mean, that is aces.
They are hanging. It's magical.
He's not even on the driving range, by the way. He's out there in the grass in his own spot. It's like such an odd place for him to go, but I loved it so much I had to put it in here. All right, first tee.
All right.
Beautiful. I mean, other than a little bit of like foliage in the way of the first tee shot there, but that's pretty minor.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's on purpose. A little bit. It's like a nice touch, just. I
like
it. It doesn't block the ball, but if you went to the right a little bit, you're kind of you can't see it, but no,
doesn't block your shot at all. I thought it was great. I love the hedges. Matter of fact, I didn't take a screenshot. When you turn around and look, it's such a narrow little area back here with the hedges on both sides and the flowers and shrubs behind it. Like, it's a really cool little shoot to come out of. I thought his colors looked great. I thought his deep rough looked great. I thought, like, the tree, all of it blended very nicely together. And I thought it was a really good looking view. Now, I will say what's interesting. I should have gotten a screenshot of this. This tee is actually elevated up about a foot. And you can't see it from here when you're on the shot, but if you fly back to the back and look at it, you can see it's really odd. The tee is actually up about a foot. I don't know why it is. I think it's just really interesting.
Like
Um,
like
but anyway,
hovering, or just like almost like he lifted like the
it's almost
mesh.
like there's no space. It's
Okay,
almost like
okay,
he extruded the tee up about a
gotcha.
foot.
Okay, got you, got you.
All right, and then I did, like they're not really custom T. The T markers are basically the GSPro markers minus the GSPro logo. So
Yeah.
technically, are they custom? Sure, they took the logo off, um, but they're not really custom. But custom flags looked great. There are no hole markers on this. I didn't get a ton of shots because I want people to go out and play this course and experience it. This is coming down number 2, and it's actually, you can see on the mini map, I'm on the green. I think it's number like 10. The number 2 green is actually off to my right. I went over here. I hit my ball over here because this view of the water and the waves in the water, the boats are animated and moving. There's actually a road. There's no car right now. There's a road between the course and the rocks there, and there's animated cars going up and down. It was really, really well done, and it made me feel like I was out there on the ocean up in Victoria.
Yeah, and it's funny because like you're not. We have so many ocean courses where like those trees are like palm trees, right? It's kind of makes you, as soon as you put in like those firs in there, you're kind of thinking, oh, it's definitely not in your typical Southern Ocean course at this point. We're not at
Yeah.
Kiowa at this point, right?
No, and I've been to Victoria before, and this felt like I was in Victoria. Like, it was awesome. It was really well done. So, screenshot of the deep rough again. Another. I really love the mix of that fern in there. It's not everywhere. It's not like you just dropped a fern in a biome. I think he manually planted a fern occasionally here and there. I think the little flowers in there look good. Like I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different grasses in there.
Yeah.
Um, it all blends well together, but like there's some browns, there's some yellows, there's little white flowers, the green fern. It was really, really well done. It was a really good eye.
Yeah, and this main grass right here, if that was just in there by itself, I would say it's a little bit too green, but he balanced it nicely with some of these
Yeah.
browns in here, and the white flowers in here are also a nice break to it as
And
well.
you can see at the lower right hand corner a little bit of the
3DG.
rough coming in, the 3DG rough
Yeah.
coming in, and it blends in naturally.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know if it's a custom clubhouse or not because there's so many clubhouses out there these days. I
Uh,
can't keep up,
that
but I
one
loved
looks
it.
familiar, but it's hard to tell. And there's
Even if you
so
took it and
many.
changed the assets on it a little bit or changed the
Yeah.
materials a little bit, I think that's great. But it was great, and that you can kind of see, by the way, if you look to the far right where the little vestibule is below that, the shrubs, that is that tee shot that we were just on, that big shoot tee shot right there. So anyway, I thought it was a great course. I think that's the last screenshot I grabbed of it. I didn't grab
It
too
is.
many
It
of
is.
this.
Yep.
Yeah, so really, really well done.
All right. So,
Congrats.
congratulations. Nice course. Let's give him a little round of applause there,
I
right?
love it.
So next course is must play of the week is the Club at Pradera by Run Pud Run, and we got to do the walk on music, right?
Yep.
So Angry Ball Guy walking in, strutting his stuff. Now I will say, only a 2.6 out of 10 here, um, so not too difficult. So for the Angry Ball Guy, we got to work on bringing that number up a little bit. But all
I
right.
feel listen, I feel like this course is local to me. I've never played it. But I now, after playing this in the sim, want to go and find someone with a membership so I can go play this course. I'm on the hunt to go figure because I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to go play. It's actually not far from my house. It's maybe 30 minutes from my house. Um, I find that these courses play way harder than this difficulty will give it. Like, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the difficulty. I'm just saying
Yeah,
they're a lot harder than you think they are. You know what I mean?
yeah, well, this course in particular has a lot of deep rough surrounding it everywhere. There's some OBs that are really close, houses in each side, which, me, it makes me nervous as hell when I'm out in a real course. Now, in the sim, it doesn't bother me, but there's been too many times in real life where I hit the ball and cringe. I'm just waiting for a glass to break. But I think one of the things that really helps you in this course, well, let's start here. We got hole number one, and it looks a lot more wide open than it really is because the fairways are fairly narrow, and then you're surrounded by this really deep rough everywhere. Now,
Yep.
he did do a great job with the custom tee markers, beautiful flags. Here's another shot, and you're going to see the pattern here, which is, okay, we got fairways and then a shitload of rough on either side of as well that you're going to stuck on. Now, on the sim, that's not a problem because A, you're going to find your ball, right?
Yes.
Now, you're going to be penalized hitting it out, and you're not going to get the distance, but finding your ball, especially for a golfer like me, is half the battle.
That's half the battle on these courses, because that's where I really, really, really want. And we didn't do a feature request this week, but we've done this request before. I really, really, really want the ability to say it's as it lies, but there's a 50% chance it's a lost ball.
Yeah. Some call it deep, deep rough.
Deep, deep rough.
Yeah.
Deep, deep. It sounds like a Dirk Diggler rough.
Yeah, and some of the designers do it because they'll, and now he did not do it on this course, but they'll mark like they'll give you about 5 yards into the deep rough where you'll find your ball, but after
Yep.
that, it's like a no drop. No
I've
player
done that. I
plays
do
alive.
like sanctuaries that way. I moved the hazard in about, my guess was 5 yards or so that if you hit on the edge, you'll
And
find your
that
ball.
would
But when
be,
you're in there, you're gone.
yeah, maybe we need to add that in the future to a feature request as a new hazard type, which is just maybe a hazard type just called deep rough. That, like you said, 50, 75, 80% of the time you lose your ball or
You
whatever.
lose your ball, but every now and then you find it.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations. Found
And
your
you've got
ball.
the deep rough penalty. You found it, but now you got to figure out if you want to hit it.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
Yep.
I'd like
So
now one thing
I will say real quick, let me add, sorry, I know we do
sure.
that, but like, if you haven't listened to Adam Young, has The Sweet Spot, which is a great podcast with John Sherman and Adam Young. They had one recently where they got into a whole discussion on sim golf. And John Sherman plays a ton of sim golf. I think it's John Sherman plays a ton of sim golf. I don't know if he's on GSPro or not. I actually want to reach out to him and find out if he's on GSPro. But they had a whole conversation about that very topic, but one of the advantages of sim golf is you always find your ball in the deep rough.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can
100%.
usually hit out of it.
Yeah. Now that would definitely, if it is a feature request, to be something that they have to be able to, because it would really piss some people off. Let's face
Oh,
it.
it's going to piss some people off that you hit it in there and you can't find your ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though you really didn't lose your ball, but
But GSPro is going for the most realistic simulator golf out there.
yeah.
And
Yep.
right now, finding every single ball that you hit into the rough is not realistic.
Yep. So a lot of the fairways here, this kind of reminded me of like a little bit of like Tobacco Road, which is you hit and things kind of funnel back towards the middle.
Yeah.
So the good thing is if you are a little bit left, you are a little bit right, there's a good chance your ball is going to kind of bounce back down in the fairway. But again, if you're far left, I shouldn't even say far, if you're a little bit further left or right, you're going in the deep stuff. Yeah, yes, sim golf, you're going to find it, but you're going to be penalized pretty heavily on this course.
Yep.
Now, this is where Mashie, I was the one that had to review this course because Mashie got really upset because this is in his backyard, and I saw a lot of these beautiful picturesque shots with these huge elevation drops, which makes these courses a lot of fun. You know, Mashie wants all these for himself. He wants to build them all himself. All the course he's doing this thing with his arms, mine. But here's a good example. So 568 par 5 down 53 yards, and this is just you're licking your chops because not only that, but you got the bowl in the fairways, so everything's going to funnel back towards the middle again, right? Now, in this particular hole, what's really cool is if you flew down and you look behind you, you get to see the work that he did, a little bit of extra effort on making the cart path, the fence around the cart path, the walking path, all right? So if you're from the tips and you're playing down, you're going to cut through there so you don't have to walk as far. So cool job. Really good job with vegetation. Performance was off the hook. Really great job. Here's another great shot. I think this
640 with 84 yards down.
Yes.
It's so much fun. All
Yeah.
this, though, I'll be honest with you, all this does is make me can't wait for when you and Bull Pride come out here to play with
Especially at
us, and
elevation too, right?
at
Right.
elevation, like we can't get on Sanctuary, we can't get on this course, but the courses we've got lined up have a lot of big elevation changes like this, and I'm just so excited for you to stand on a tee and be like, holy shit, where's my ball gonna go?
Yeah, it's gonna go 5 feet in front of me probably. That's how I roll. I'm gonna get up there and my hands are gonna sweat and I'm gonna top it. Um, Also, really good job on the houses run pud run. I always like when you have like the typical house, you know, you run in the neighborhood, the middle class houses, but then you have the mansions. You got to hunt these down. Run pud run has been around the block so many times that he knows what assets he has. So stuff like this he can whip up really quick. So the houses, they're very well manicured. The vegetation is really good on 'em. They look lived in, which
He
looks
and I
really
have
good.
the same asset packs for these houses. They're awesome.
Yeah, they look really good. He did a really good job with them.
This is an amazing hole.
Yeah, so this was 18. Okay, another good hole. Not as much elevation, but just the layout. If you look here in the lower right, the layout's really fun. So there's this huge lake in the middle. Now, you could go off to the left, but that's a whole other hole, but it's sim golf, so no one's over there. So depending on your custom, not your custom, your preferred shot shape, if you're, if you prefer to go left, you hook. If you're a slicer, you want to go right. To the right, there's a ton of room. There is that bunker. It goes all the way down the middle. But then your second shot, man, it's no joke either. You're either going
It's
over the
no
water
joke.
or laying up, and then perhaps if you don't go far enough, you're going over the water again. So this has to be the signature hole in the course. It's really, really sweet. Um, and then here's just a couple more holes that are really fun. There is slight critique is looks like his water here is marked as an inner OB. I
It does being white like that. So that's strange. Like,
Yeah, so if it
Ron, just in
hits,
case you did that accidentally, that may be an inner OB versus a hazard.
yeah, so I'm not sure what if that's on
And
plan
I
on
looked
purpose.
like the one below it in the middle is missing a hazard.
Oh, you're right. It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Yeah, this one here.
Yeah.
Um,
Now I mean, you've got to really hit that poorly to go in there off the tee, but
oh, I would do that. I 100% do that. Yeah, I'm all over that. Hold my beer. Um, and then moving forward, so here's a good example of the world's most perfect blends. Actually, there's two
oh,
blends here. I can't even see the one.
you can't
So
even see
so
one of
this
them.
is green over here. I'm pretty sure this is fairway or
Yep.
semi. It's probably
Yep.
fairway. This is probably one of the best blends I've ever seen right
Yep.
there. It is
Yep.
so good. This is a good blend here as well.
Yep.
Okay. But not that one.
Oops.
Oops. Sorry, Ron. I had to
That is listen,
real
that is an oops.
yeah, that's
That's
an
all that is.
just a
That's
little
an
too
oops.
saturated, a little bit too much green in that one. Um, Again, not the end of the world. That's probably between that and the other lake that wasn't marked correctly. Whatever, right? But well done. Congratulations on another MPAL, buddy. So thank you very much. It's a good course, really fun course. So moving
Next
on
one.
to Mr. R. Dyer.
Yeah, Putt Warehouse for sure. We already covered. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. We've already covered this one in a separate episode.
Got a whole episode. Whole
Whole
episode.
episode on Putt Warehouse. When you put this much effort, time, and energy into something that hasn't been done before, it has to be an MPOW, if not an ace, right out of the gate. Like it
Unique,
is it
memorable.
is so unique. It is so good. The fact that I could get my 17-year-old and my 8-year-old in that video with all of us playing and they were arguing about who putted best, like that's what you want out of a mini golf course. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it
and
was great.
it's going to be like the putt that all other putts are measured against now. So
Yes.
when everybody, every other week people ask, is there any putting on GSPro? Everyone's going to say Putt Warehouse.
Putt Warehouse is the course. So we grabbed a couple of screenshots of our favorites just to show. What is this? Number
That's
one.
number
Oh, I
one.
know I did this. Will you hide us so I can show the whole, if you would, please, Steve? Thank you.
Yeah.
So when we talk about unique stuff, it isn't. I don't. I wish that my brain would work like our Dyer's brain does because Like when we did this with him, and he was like, "Oh, click on the metal roof
I
button,"
think
and
he's
showed me.
slightly disturbed. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna bring it up because I do have an idea for walk-on music for him, but we'll talk about
Okay,
that
good.
later.
He might be
Maybe.
disturbed. I mean, he might be a little bit like the way he thinks is like on one hand it's amazing, on the other hand it's like frightening. By the way, I don't think anybody else has requested walk-on music yet, so we're just gonna assign you guys walk-on music. Sorry. So
I don't know if he's gonna be offended by it, so I'm gonna give when it comes up, I'm gonna give him the choice whether he wants it or
okay,
not.
because if you don't recommend a walk-on music and we pick it for you and you don't like it, well, like, can beggars be choosers,
This
right?
one, I'm not sure. It's kind of funny, but it's like, hey, yeah, we'll see.
We'll check with you first to make sure before, right? You don't want
Yeah.
to
Well,
surprise
we're
you.
gonna play it
But
later on. Don't worry.
what I did for the screenshot was this is the Putt Warehouse. It's the first hole. It's the first thing you see. And all I did was click the metal roof button on the bottom left there. You see where that says? And sure enough, when you click on metal roof, next slide, boom.
You get depth.
You get depth. You get sun rays. You get shadows. You get how.
I thought it was great because when we talked to him about this, it wasn't exactly planned, right?
Mm, yeah. I mean, what if I remember correctly? What did he say? He said,
Well,
"Was
it
it?"
came to we were talking about I think it talked about the mini map, and then we talked about he switched the normals around, and then I think at that point he decided, well, if I just remove the roof, and when he did, he saw the lighting in there, and he liked the lighting better, so I think he was thinking, I'll just give the people the choice whether they want to have the roof on there or not, and here we go. Now,
And
if you
like
do that, yeah,
it's essentially a trigger script. You click on the metal roof and it just removes the panels, and the sunlight and the clear panels are always there.
yeah, yeah,
So it's awesome. It's brilliant, and it gives a whole different feeling of like I felt like it was a nighttime versus a daytime round of mini golf. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And I felt like it allowed you to read the greens much better as well.
Yep. So, beer pong has to come into B2B. There has to be beer pong. I'm a little offended there's not a B2B logo on those cups. So, that's just, I didn't tell him that. He's going to hear this and be like, oh my God, come on, Mashie. But beer pong, can't go wrong with it. Love it. Next one is the construction site. I think it's just so unique. There's smoke coming out of the stack there. It's just really cool. But I took this one for a reason because I wanted to show a little bit of the out, and I didn't do a lot of the holes. So I want y'all to play this. The bar here has live TV, and those are videos running of golf and other things. I think it's golf, and what else is on the TV? I'm trying to see.
One of them I
I should
thought
have.
was we talked
One was
about
a
this in the show. It was a football game because he's
football
a
game.
Michigan fan. It was something I think when Michigan beat
Yep.
somebody, and I can't remember. You can see a
Yep.
score up there. It says like 13-34 or something.
Yep, I think that's exactly right. And so, like, but there are live videos going on in the background. He didn't have to put that level of detail in, and he did.
Yeah.
And then there's another screenshot, the next one. Like, I thought the art on here was the wall. Like, again, it wouldn't even have occurred to me to spend the time to do artwork on the walls like a business would
Yeah, and
do.
then like
Like,
even the artwork over here is like a golf course, like a
yeah, it's like a golf course. It looks
yeah.
great. And then I was intrigued because there's
Well,
this restroom sign, and I decided I needed to use the restroom.
and I feel bad for the guy standing there who just looks so lonely and
He looks like he needs a
dejected.
friend.
It's like he just played a whole round by himself and
But
lost.
and lost. He lost by himself. So, and then
uh,
I decided to use the restroom, so I rounded the corner and, I was disappointed, so I peed in the corner.
know what this
I
is?
hope that's
This
okay.
No, this is the Harry Potter restroom. You
Oh,
run through the
that's what it
wall.
is.
Yes,
Run through the wall, then
you
it goes me into the magical bathroom back there.
yes.
Should have known that
There's two
versus
and a
like
half restrooms back here.
I should have known that instead of peeing in the corner of the wall there.
Yeah, good call. Yes.
So nicely done. Congratulations, my friend.
Yes, well
We love
done.
this course.
Yeah, it's a really well done course, and this is going to be for sure going to be a classic for a while. Yep. Okay, we got one more. One more. Who's it going to be? It is Rocky
Hot
Crest Golf Club by Hazel Rocketo.
Rocketo. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. So congratulations on we were talking about this earlier. Is this another MPAL, or is this his first? We can't
I don't
remember.
know. I didn't. We don't. Steve is not no longer updating the website
Yeah,
against my advice,
the
and
website's just now defunct.
yeah,
Yeah,
against my advice. So if somebody has a way of keeping the MPOWs listed, let us know. Because I'd love to go back and be like, hey, does Hazel Rocketo have an MPOW? I think maybe yes, but I don't remember.
I think he
Sorry,
does. I think he does. My
I think he does too.
recollection. Yeah. So let's take a closer look at Rocky Crest, this beautiful course up in MacTier, Ontario, Canada. So here's number one. So Parkland style course. And first of all, one of the things I immediately noticed on here was his trees. It's like early fall. I love it. Some people go like, hey, I want like full fall or it's not. Here it's like just a little bit of a hint.
Yeah,
And I like it. Looks really natural to me.
agreed.
Not too bright, and just gives me the idea. The trees, the leaves haven't quite fallen yet, and I'm still on a somewhat healthy course. Really good texturing
The
on his T
texturing
markers,
on these
on
T markers
everything.
are on everything are fantastic.
Not only the T markers, but also these
The T
freaking
signs, the
signs
whole
are freaking
signs.
cool, man.
Yeah,
Logo on there, yardage markers, really cool. The logs, that are sliced and, this big freaking slab of rock thrown in there as well. So well done. Nice touch. And here's a closer look at this vegetation. This is really cool. Um,
really good. He's got it dialed in.
yeah, between not only the trees, but then the grasses underneath. He's got some wildflowers mixed in there, some bushes, some small ferns, some small evergreens in there. The rock work we'll talk about here in a second, he's got mixed in here a little bit. Just enough brown to let you know that things are starting to dry out. Winter's coming. Well done. Nice job. And then he did
Here's the
some,
rock work.
yeah, the rock work. So vert painting. Now there are some, I would say, some harder edges. Well, let me talk. If I did have a critique, I'll explain this here in a second. But this is vert painting. And what he did is, I think either he found a texture that is really close to the texture of some of the rock assets he has, or he used the same one. I think he just used the same one, is my guess. Um, my one little complaint, if I had one, is some of the hard edges he has here around some of the stuff he painted. It's tough to kind of, you'd almost have to blend that in with a little bit of vert painting, but again, from where I'm at, it looks like a hard edge, but as you go in, I think the 3D grass and the other grasses kind of cover it up a little bit. So very minor critique.
So that's a mix of so that's all vert painted there, and then he's got actual rocks planted
And
below
some of
that.
them, well, yeah, these down
That's a
here
rock.
are rocks. These are all vert paint. And then up
Yeah.
here, it's vert painting and rocks mixed together.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would recommend is I like the vert painting plus rock. I think that
Yes.
to some degree legitimizes the vert painting as a rock by putting a real rock with it, right?
Yeah.
And then the rock standalone by itself is fine, but it would look better with a little vert painting around the edges of it. So,
Yeah.
not critiquing. I think it looks fantastic, but I agree with you on the hard edge. But you only see the hard edge from the further away view.
Yes. The
But I think it's a really
flyovers when
neat.
it's
Yeah.
close with the grass up next to it, also the blend looks a little bit
Yep.
better up close too. Yeah.
Yep.
So here it looks, so this is a better angle, right?
Here it looks great,
Yeah, here it looks really good.
and
Plants and
that's a
grasses
mix
on
of
the left.
rocks and vert painting.
Yep, exactly. So nice job here. Again, I just love the colors of these trees. I've tried to do autumn trees on a course and I can't
It's
get it.
hard.
It's
It's
really
hard
hard.
to not make them look like cartoonish. I will say on this screenshot, the thing that I love the most is if you look at the rough to the deep rough transition of the grasses,
Yeah.
right there, exactly. They are so naturally colored, all the proper hue, the normal the added browns that you get and the darker greens and the deeper rough. It looks really well done. Man, he nailed his grasses on this.
Yeah. These are some of the best grasses I've seen in a long time, honestly.
Yeah.
These must be, I don't plan. These must be like some of these flowers must be hand planted because I see a few here. The only thing
but they're
it's
not.
maybe they're called early. That's why I don't see him far away. He had to hand plant them on the rocks.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's really sweet.
I mean, I've taken the tech bud approach. I mean, I think I've taken a mix of the tech bud and the run putter run approach. I generally, for deep rough, will mesh terrain plant the base grasses, and then I take the tech bud approach. I hand plant everything after that.
Yeah, just click, 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 click.
Click, click, click. A lot of
bunkers
clicking.
look really good too. I think he must be using the new blender tools.
Yeah, those tools are legit.
I haven't touched them yet.
They're so good.
I haven't got there.
I use them. Courses. I'm working on a course out on the western slope of Colorado, and there's not. The nice thing is there's not a ton of bunkers. There's like 30 bunkers in the whole course, which is great. But it gives me the chance to really go deep with those tools, and it's been fun.
Yeah. So well done. Congratulations on your MPAL. Great course. Great course.
Great course. Love this one. Fun to play. So congrats everybody on your MPALs.
All right. So now we get to go to posts of the week. And you didn't have any posts this week, huh?
I talked enough this week, so I'm gonna let you go.
All right. So let's go to the first one. And I'll cue up some silly music here. So, after witnessing the total eclipse, how about, hey, course builders? Can you just incorporate this in your builds?
Hey, I like that. Now, here's the reason I like that request. Now, I don't know where you're going, if you're going anywhere specific with it, but I have not seen these, by the way. Remember, I didn't look at any of your posts. During the eclipse, my daughter was in a golf tournament. And they paused the tournament so that they gave all the kids eclipse glasses. So on the course, they can look up and watch the eclipse happen. So I like that idea.
But couldn't you just turn down the lighting and get the same effect?
No, you need a sun and you need to go. You can't just make it dark. I mean, that's the easy way.
Yeah, but there's no. Is there actually a sun that you could eclipse in the, like, I guess.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I thought the lighting just changed, but I didn't really think there was actually a sun.
I would want, for this request, I would want there to be a sun that I could then eclipse for people to see.
Yes.
And then the whole thing got dark and cool. Temperature dropped 20 degrees. And your ball didn't go as far because it was cooler.
Okay. So
I like that request. I'm all in on that one.
All right. Okay.
Sign me up.
Now this one was
you want to put our videos back up on the right?
Oh yeah, let me put those on the right.
For Steve? Steve? Yeah, what the hell are you doing, Steve? Come on,
buddy.
Jeez.
So this was, first of all, you have to understand the forum this was Golf Simulator Forum higher end, okay? And this guy starts posting about SkyTrack Plus. So the admin took his original post down. This guy gets pissed and says, "Oh, we're turning up our nose to a SkyTrack, a 3K launch monitor." Yes, you're posting in the high-end golf. I wouldn't even consider a QED high-end, honestly. That's what I have.
I'm with you.
I think like high-end. What do you think? I think IXO is the low end of the high-end.
I think XO is the low end of the high-end. I think
IXO2, GC
Quad.
Hawk, and then the
GC
what's
Hawk,
the new one?
Quad, Falcon.
The Falcon. Yeah, I don't think there's any high-end. Maybe, yeah, Quad is, I think, the only high-end floor unit, I would say.
Yeah, because I think XO Mini is, or XO is I don't have one. XO Mini is a lower end floor unit. I mean, then there's the Mini Light, which is even a.
But I don't see like Golf Simulator Forum high end. Yeah, we don't. There's a reason that this person created this group was for people to discuss more higher end. They don't want to talk about SkyTrack, right?
And there's a bunch of other groups you could post.
Yeah, go to the other groups.
Go to the Golf Simulator Forum group. Yes. It's not the high end.
Yeah, there's one called Golf Simulator Forum. There's one called Golf Simulator High End. Yeah, dude, just.
I'm gonna open up Golf Simulator Forum low end. This is where people make up their own monitors.
I'm gonna open up Golf Simulator Forum mid-range.
Mid-range. It's for QED, iMini,
iMini, BLP, right?
BLP.
Yeah. I'm the owner of the only overhead mid-range golf
Now,
golf
let me ask
spotter.
you, you've had your QED for a while. Have you ever thought about upgrading?
No, the reason being is I don't want something. If I did upgrade to like an IXO, I don't want it mounted in front of me.
Why?
Because I had to engineer. I'm in such a tight space
Oh, got it.
that I had to basically engineer my enclosure to fit around like ductwork,
Okay.
and where my ductwork is, my IXO, I'm not sure if I would have a good clean shot to the floor from there.
Okay.
So no,
And you haven't thought about going floor mount at all?
no, no,
There's
no.
no reason to. Your QED is giving you everything. You just have to use marked balls.
Yeah, which doesn't bother me because I just use the
Yeah.
stickers and I can use any ball I want. It's not a big deal.
Is there a pattern you got to put the stickers on the ball?
Not really. You do like, well, they come in groups of three, and then you do like one on every like quadrant of the ball. So on two on the sides, and then four around the middle, if you want to think of it like
Oh,
that.
okay. Got it. Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah,
takes,
yeah.
all I do is like when we actually have the first time the guys come over for indoor golf, everyone brings three balls. I give them a bunch of stickers, and we have balls for the whole year.
Okay. There
It
you go.
takes us like 10 minutes.
Cool. That makes sense.
Um, yeah, so I don't know. Dude, just go to a different group if you want to talk about SkyTrack.
It's a lot of like insistence that I want to get my thought out there in a group that it's not maybe designed for.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's okay. It's
Okay.
okay, Strenton,
Shretten.
Sren,
Shretten.
Srenton.
Yeah. I don't think
Fuck. Like put the pronunciation of your name up there so I know how the hell to spell. I mean,
they
like,
should have on Facebook. You can click and they can say like, click on the name so you can see how it's pronounced.
I
Um,
mean, the SkyTrack Plus work with GSPro? I guess it does. I don't have a SkyTrack, so I don't know. So I'm guessing SkyTrack Plus works with GSPro.
yes,
It
it
didn't at one point in
does.
time when it first
Well,
came out.
it didn't, and then I think putting wasn't working. Now I think they got putting working, but now something with subscription. I think they're enforcing subscription. The person who wrote is enforcing the subscription. I'm not 100% sure. Now,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't follow it close enough.
I don't know.
Then this next one's pretty good. This is pretty fun. So
I'm excited.
this was in a golf group. Okay. Um, I missed the Nvidia stop. When will a stock like Nvidia appear next?
Garrett, from your lips to
Wrong group,
God's
buddy.
ears, like tell me when the next stock is coming because I miss the Nvidia buy as well.
I feel like if I know the answer to that, then I am Warren Buffett.
All I can say is I am very happy I've been at my company for as long as I have, but I would love to know the next one.
Yes, exactly.
Hi,
And yeah,
caramba.
don't ask for stock advice in a golf group. Yeah,
And
this
in
is the
golf,
thing.
yeah, for sure.
Not only
You're gonna
that,
get-
but it's funny because like Nvidia, their big thing right now isn't even like really they don't, the majority of the revenue isn't from GPUs for gaming anymore. It's GPUs for high speed compute.
Correct.
GPUs for artificial intelligence.
Correct.
They're a competitor to they're becoming a competitor to my company. They're starting to make actually Ethernet switches soon too. So yeah, it has nothing to do with the GPUs they're selling.
They are my customer, so I will refrain from saying anything beyond that.
Formidable company for sure. They've had their ups and downs over the years, and they've hung in there.
They have come on really, really strong in the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, and I think they're going to be around for a long time, especially around high-end computing, advanced computing, and AI compute. Like they're going to be there for a long time.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so the next one here, this is kind of funny.
You got a couple. Look at this.
This is this guy's budget build with the Garmin R10.
Wow.
Which I applaud him. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do not have a space, and so it's all the power to him, right? I don't know how warm it's going to be, okay, in the winter. And my big question for this poor guy, not poor guy, is how durable is this thing? Like a big storm
My
comes
thought is
along
one errant shot, and you're going to put a hole right through that thing.
Well, the thing is, I reached out to this guy.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Nice.
And I said, can I have a picture of the inside?
Oh,
And
I want to see this.
He sent me a picture of the inside, and
is that?
That's
Oh my
Dexter.
Oh my God.
Did you ever watch Dexter? Do you know
No,
the
I
show?
never
Oh,
did.
okay. So I'm playing the Dexter theme music in the background now. So Dexter was, if you didn't watch the show Dexter, this was a forensic guy. Long story short, he was a serial killer who killed serial killers, but he would make these clean rooms. So he would kidnap the person, take it and hang plastic and everything, and then kill them. And he left no traces or anything. He got away. He killed hundreds of killers. He killed killers. So when I saw this, I really thought of a Dexter clean
so
room.
go back once. Go back to the main tent. This to me is the equivalent of a windowless white van.
Yes, yes.
like if you see that van parked in front of your house, make sure you know where your children are. It's scary.
Yes.
Now
I'm hoping this music isn't trademarked, because this whole segment could get nixed if this music
I
is
hope
trademarked.
not, though.
So I'm actually going to turn the music down right now, because
turn it way down.
Yeah.
We don't need music. We don't need no stinking
this,
music, Steve.
if we get away with the music, this was going to be my walk-on music for Art Dyer, because to me, Art Dyer, I'm sorry to say this, you do look a little bit like Dexter.
A little mad genius there.
Yes. And
I'm not going to go serial killer.
And if you haven't watched the show, actually, he's a very likable character, because he's like he goes and he kills bad people, So he'll kidnap people, and you can see in this scene he's got pictures of the woman that this guy killed, but all the rooms are like this, hanging in the plastic everywhere. So, yeah.
I will tell you. So go back to the shed or the shack, or I don't know what the hell to call this. So here, let me bring you into my world for a second. I know it's scary, but welcome to my world.
Here we go.
My world.
So hold on.
Cue up my world music, Steve.
Hold on. We're gonna do some deep in thought music here, Steve. Can you give me the deep?
Oh, it's not deep in thought, but that's okay. You can play it.
All right.
I like it. We received a certified letter over the weekend from my homeowners association that for the last 10 and a half years, because I've been in this house for 10 and a half years, we are apparently violating their homeowner association by having our trash cans in the alley visible.
So someone finally complained, in other words.
They paid someone to drive up and down and take pictures and be like, hey, your trash cans are exposed. You can't, you know what I mean? What do you think they're going to say when I put that in my backyard? I'm going to build, I love this so much. I'm going to build this in my backyard just so the homeowners association will then send me letters of takedown notices.
You could say, I built this to put my trash cans in.
I did. They're hiding my trash cans. You said not visible.
This is for hiding my trash cans.
This is for hiding my trash cans.
Yes.
I don't care if it takes up my whole backyard. Kids, go play at the park. I don't care. I just want this in my backyard.
Nice. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, any more?
No, that's it.
Okay, that was a good one to end on. I like that.
Yeah, we'll start the exit music here.
All right, we're long tonight. I took up a lot of time. I'm sorry. Hopefully you guys
we're talking
enjoyed
an hour and a half. It is a full feature movie tonight. Yeah.
Full feature. You get it all.
Yep. All right. So we'll end this one for the week, and guess we'll see you guys next week, right?
Congrats, everybody. See you next week.
See you guys. Bye.